question is, about technology and what needs to change in the landscaping industry. And one of the biggest things that needs to change, I mean, I don't know if it needs to change, but I think we're on the cusp of big changes is, lawnmowers themselves and all the gas that they use, and having people to run them is just becoming a challenge. And so the robot industry is up and running. Well, what does that look like? If you switched your fleet to, all robots, who are the people that need to run that fleet, and what does their day look like? And is it completely different? I think so. But I don't think we know what the answer to that is yet, but it could be anything. And I think that, those kids can certainly be part of it if we, market it right. There's so many people that have been in the industry for so long and have had success for so many years, whether it's production team members, whether it's sales people, management. They've been around a long time. It's not complicated. It's just mowing the grass. And so what they do works, and it's hard to say, yeah, that worked, but now we have some better, more efficient ways to do it, and get that to take hold, when it just makes it harder for them because they're so used to doing it the way they've been doing it. What's the justification to make something harder? And it's been going on for a long time now, but it's going to get to a point, the younger generation comes up and they're not going to stand for these old ways anymore. And the companies that haven't innovated their way through it to, make different processes available, they're not going to attract the younger people. And then when their people age out and they're ready to retire, there's going to be nothing left. So we've got to start finding ways to innovate and attract different people. And a lot of the people in leadership positions are creatives at heart. They're designers. They fell in love with the landscape and with nature and with plants and with trees. And so, they don't put a lot of thought into, what is perceived as complicating matters by adding technology and adding, different things that they haven't seen before. But, I talked about the robotic mowers. They've been around since I've been in the industry, but they just haven't taken hold. Why? Because who's going to run those? That's not what we've done before. They're not big enough. They're not fast enough. They, whatever, hundreds of excuses people could use, until all of a sudden they don't have people to drive their mowers anymore. I mean, it's going to get to a point where it's just not sustainable. You can't pay enough people enough money and have clients that are still willing to pay that price to have their lawn mowed. And, some big companies are going to make the switch, and everyone's going to have to do it. Well, I mean, it's true. To me, it's a no-brainer, because in order to fully understand your costs, it all starts with a good estimate. And, time is of the essence in a salesperson's life. I mean, it's the one thing that stops, to me, strangely, stops the adoption of technology rather than fosters it, depending on, it's a generational thing, I think. Younger people are coming into the sales teams, and they want to do things differently, and they want to be completely mobile, and they don't want to have to, get out their calculator. And, going to a product like Attentive, they probably wouldn't even have taken a job if you told them they had to walk off a site with a measuring wheel, refresh their geometry skills from 10th grade and figure out, the size of all this stuff. So they just wouldn't do it, and the measurements wouldn't be right. And so your estimates aren't right. So you don't understand your costs. And so the prices aren't right. And now with products like Attentive, there's no excuse. And with measuring being automated, it's going to go across the industry where everybody's proposals are better, their estimates are tighter, so their prices make more sense. And if you don't get on board, you're either going to be pricing stuff too cheap just to get the work without even realizing it, or you're just not going to be competitive for long. Doing things faster, doing things better, doing things without harming the environment with paper, doing things without extra emissions. I don't know, sounds great to me.